brought me sprinkle cookies.
So what, no fucking TV now? Hey!
Maybe she's from Jersey.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to...
We're going to say that.
My name's Jackie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex.
So we are starting a podcast called Maybe She's from Jersey. We're getting used to everything.
Oh, we're really getting used to it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. I sound sexy.
Welcome. We have our first episode today.
Yes.
We have a lot of exciting things actually planned. We literally have stuff planned for like...
Let me pull it up. I have it mapped out till potentially June. And guest appearances by the one and onlys. People you've never met before. Nobody relevant.
Nobody famous yet. But we are going to put in the podcast every time a different coffee place that we're going to try. So Today we have coffee from Cafe 72. Is that Ewing, New Jersey?
Yes.
Yeah. Great coffee. Oh my gosh. I got like a s'mores latte.
I got a basic cappuccino because I'm trying to be healthy.
Iced cappuccino.
Yeah. So it's nothing really fancy, but it's really good. And I mean, when I go to Starbucks, I'll spend like $10. This is half the price. This was not $5. I'm being dramatic, but still much cheaper, really good quality, and it's down the street. And I don't have to see my credit card bill reloaded $25 every week.
Okay, so let's start off this podcast. We want to do the first one, just like kind of a get to know us, because we're going to talk about a bunch of different things on this.
And who cares about us, right?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Can we curse on podcasts?
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Amazing.
Other people do.
Okay, so we'll do it. So we just put it together.
Fuck.
Oh my God. At least make it organic.
I had to say, that was very organic.
Anyway, we put together a bunch of questions so you guys can kind of get to know us a little bit more. If you're Leo.
Oh, as an introduction to the best podcast member here, no offense. I'm sure none taken, but my dog, Leo.
Baby!
He is come on. I'm baffled by him.
He's just filled with serotonin. Like, if you met this dog, he's never not happy, and you can't not smile around him. He's a perfect dog for you. My name's Jackie, from New Jersey, born and raised. Who am I? I literally just forgot everything about myself. I'm 25 years old. I'm a Capricorn, if anybody cares.
Is that relevant?
Yeah, it's relevant to a lot of people. They'll understand me. She's a Leo, if you can't tell. And then, what else? Oh, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm an actor, I'm an independent recording artist, so I make music. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can probably check out my music. If you listen on YouTube, probably see some of my music videos. Also, my series called Sundays at Jackie's, which is just a little series I put on my YouTube. That's basically what it is. I like highlight Italian American culture and businesses and all that good stuff. And I've met so many wonderful people through it, and honestly having a great time with that. It's in honor of my dad, who was an immigrant from a little town called Joy, Italy.
I didn't know
in Italy.
that.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's called Joy, like Gioi, and the population maybe 1,000 people. So I grew up very old school Italian. Scary. And yeah, that's pretty much about me. What about you? Why are you laughing at me?
You listed off like a lot of qualifications of yourself, like singer, dance. I have none of that. Okay.
Starts to be like, I'm a
Again,
loving human.
So my name is Alex. I can't sing, dance, act, or anything like that.
You can act.
I'm a good shower singer. Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm
smart
25.
as hell.
I'm 25. We're actually 6 months apart. You would think I'm 35 if it was just strictly based on our personalities. And she would be like 19. I'm 25. I currently live with my boyfriend and our dog.
You're super smart.
I work in bacterial infectious disease and vaccines department. I'm saying I'm smart because I just always wanted to be a doctor. I don't know if
she is smart.
I don't know if that's going to still happen, and we'll get into that in another podcast. But yeah, I've always liked medicine, science, hate math. Hate it. Who doesn't hate math?
Yeah.
So yeah, I now am living my life trying to figure out what I want to do, because not going to lie, working a 9-to-5 job Monday through Friday doesn't seem like it's for me. I also have a spending problem. So as my boyfriend and I have
sponsored by
conducted,
Joe.
Yeah. We're gonna talk a lot about him because he's just an icon.
Aww. We'll get him on the podcast.
Yeah. So I grew up in Jersey as well. I was not born here though. I was born in Kissimmee, Florida. We moved here and I've kind of grown up here ever since. I didn't grow up super Italian or anything, specific. If anything, I identify as Crewish.
Crewish.
That's my ethnicity, my religion, and my identity. My dad is Christian and my mom is Jewish, and that is the extent of my background as far as that.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, also, both your parents are adopted. I feel
Is that interesting? Okay.
I feel like that's so cool. Both of them are adopted.
It has nothing to do with me, but both my parents are adopted. Ironically, they were both adopted from New York City.
I think that's so
Manhattan.
cool.
Yeah, I guess. There's nothing really else about me that I think is that interesting.
I guess we'll find out more through these questions.
Like, I'm a cool fucking person.
You
But
can't say that. They have to find out.
right, but I'm, prefacing it with that.
She's letting you guys know.
Like, honestly, my life on paper is really boring.
All right, let's start these questions.
Okay.
People get to know us a little bit.
down.
Good for them to know.
Okay, so how did we get to here? Here.
There should be a little flashback moment. How long have we known each other? My freshman year of college, that was 2000. So I technically met you the year of 2015. So we've known each other for 5, 6, 7 years. This will be our 7th year.
Yeah, that was good math. Yes. So let's do a quick little brief introduction on how we met because I feel like we are very different. And people that actually know us personally would never assume that we would be friends.
Yeah, that's very true.
Let alone sisters.
Let alone big and little. We were a perfect match, if you know what that means.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead. Because technically you spotted me first.
So I was a freshman. She was a sophomore. She was already in the sorority. And I think it was the fall semester. And I was sitting in the lobby of my dorm building, and I think you lived in Denali too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was sitting in the lobby, I was waiting for someone, and I saw she was wearing the jacket, and me just being a freshman, I was just staring at her. I was like, oh my god, she's so cool, she's a sister, whatever.
I rocked that jacket.
So I was just staring, I was admiring her. I was like, oh my god, so cool, whatever. So she looks up at me and this death stare, and she goes like this, and I was like, literally, I think my heart sunk into my ass. I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god, that was so embarrassing, whatever. I don't know, whatever. And I was like, oh my god, that girl probably hates me. She probably thinks I'm so weird now, whatever. And
I don't remember this.
I remember this.
At all.
I was an excited freshman.
So sorry. Here we are, 7 years, 6, 7 years later.
Yeah.
And she was like, do you want to do a podcast? And I was like, I don't know. Who's going to want to hear us? And she's like, no, I think we have good camaraderie. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
If you listen, sometimes we call each other when we're driving, and the shit we talk about is so funny that we were like...
Is it though?
I think it is.
We just talk about everything and nothing.
We also both have no filter.
And we also have very different... we come from very different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Very different viewpoints.
It's funny
and we're very real we're very realistic.
Yes.
People. So I ground her, she grounds me.
I think we're a yin and yang though. Like people in the sorority, I feel like when they were like, oh, that's who my nobody kind of expected us to vibe as well as we did.
People would be like, who's your little? I'm like, Jackie. And they're like, really? Oh, okay.
I feel like we're both very genuine and down to earth, understanding. Also, we balance each other out. You're very much a realist. And I think sometimes I add pixie dust and I'm like, yeah, be hopeful. And then other times I'm like, okay, blah, blah. And she's like, you're being dramatic.
All the time. But then I'm told that I'm dramatic from other people. So I think
there's no way.
Joe,
you're such an Aquarius.
So as part of this podcast, because who are we and why do you care? You don't. So we just figured it'd be easier to answer some questions to get an idea of who we are. We're not going to answer the who, what, where, when, and why. That's freaking boring. So I downloaded / copy and pasted these questions from a bunch of websites on how to get to know your best friend.
Okay.
Sorority sister wasn't an option. So
this is cute though.
Who do you look up to the most and what qualities do you love about that person? I'll go first.
Okay.
This is hard because obviously I want to say my parents, and I love them both equally. Yeah, they're both completely opposite, like yin and yang. My mom is very kind of like me, like very realistic, very grounded. She's great. And honestly, she's like the brains behind our family. And she's the person I go to for like any type of advice. And she is also someone who like can have fun and like joke around and gossip, and like it's not always like mom mode. Like I really feel like we've become friends over the years. But she's still my mom. And then my dad is like a ball of fucking energy. He owns his own entertainment company. He's a DJ and karaoke host. So, yeah, he's more popular in my town than I am. People will text me and be like, hey, with your dad, send me Snapchats of him. He is very emotional in the best and worst way. Like he is the sappy, lovey-dovey one, and my mom is very much like, get off of me, go do the laundry or something. And he's so much fun, and he's also just someone that he literally puts together this townhouse. No offense, Joseph. Joe was busy. He works a lot. My dad was laid off from the pandemic. He built a house before. Like, he can do anything. He's so handy. I look up to him so much in that regard, and he never gives up. They really like piece each other together. And they keep me very grounded. My mom's the first person to gaslight me in a sense of like, she'll be like, she said what to you? Are you going to take that? And then my dad's like, you know what? You never know what people are going through. And I'm like, where do I go?
Oh my God,
you
that's the worst.
So love them to death. Continue. I really took that one on.
No, that was great.
You don't need to say me.
It's so funny. Well, I think most people who know me know this, but my dad, my dad
Shocker.
was, yeah, literally. I feel like every other word of my mouth is like, oh, my dad.
It's not the worst thing.
Huh?
It's not the worst thing.
Oh, no. I love that man. But anyway, he was very, he was so outgoing, so funny, so hardworking, but you could also have like the most serious conversation with him. Like he would just like a heart to heart. Like when I was younger, we used to like rent out like beach houses, like those little like bungalow things down the shore. And we'd be at the beach and it started raining and everybody would go back to their house. Whenever me and my dad would throw on sweatshirts and we'd go like sit on the beach while it was raining and like have like heart to heart conversations. Like,
aww.
I know it was my favorite thing ever. But then we'd also like, he would do the dumbest shit. Like, and it was just, it was so
he was,
funny.
Like, famous on your Instagram.
Honestly, if I posted him on TikTok, he would have blown up. He missed his calling. He should have been a comedian. He was so funny. But I love he had so many like colors to him, which I appreciate. And he was also very hardworking. So that'd be mine. Ooh, this one's interesting. What's your love language?
What's your love? Okay, so I did take the love language test. And I kind of forget like what they were, but I do know that I don't know like the order they were in, but mine's definitely like words of affirmation and quality time. And I think, I don't know if this is like a love language, but just to like wrap that up, I am someone that is very content in a relationship, friendship, romantically, like anything. I'm usually very content. Like when we become friends, when we get past that point of being like acquaintances, I'm confident because, you know, I let it get that far. I'm very confident in my choice in a way. So I'm not usually an insecure person, but there are moments and I need to be reassured. And I never say it, but it's really like in what like happens in the relationship. Like if I call somebody and I just need to talk and they give me the time of day, I'm like, okay, that was it. Like things like that. I'm not necessarily like, I need you to buy me roses, which like feel free. But I don't actually think gifts was like, I think that was actually the lower.
Yeah, me too.
One of the I think there's 5.
There's 6, I think.
So that was like the second to last one was the gifts one. Mine was quality time and words of affirmation. I just like to be told that I'm pretty and that I'm worthy and that I'm smart. And I'm just going to hype myself up right now. I like that. And I feel like other people appreciate that. So, because that's my love language, I tend to push it on other people, which I know isn't good. But
so my love language is, which has always been quality time. Like once I like someone and you're like, especially like in a romantic relationship, I'm like, you come hang out with me fucking all the time. Actually, that's like quality time or whatever. I just like to spend time. But as of lately, I've noticed my second one is probably physical touch. Like if I'm, yeah, isn't that weird? I know you're not like that, but no, in a romantic relationship, physical touch.
I would hope
My
so.
friends, I'd be like, I think for my friends, probably it's something like acts of service or something like, oh, like I like helped clean your house. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I love you. That's so sweet. But yeah.
One thing most people don't know about you. I don't necessarily think people don't know this about me, but people like think I'm very, and I say this like, I don't mean to make my friends sound terrible. Like I don't know how to describe it. They have like this persona of me and it's 99% true, but I feel like I am more emotional than people think I am.
Really?
I just don't necessarily show it.
But why?
I don't know. And it's more like when I'm vulnerable, I don't show that. Like I don't cry in front of people.
Yeah.
Like I cry all the time in the shower. That's why I take a lot of showers. I'm just kidding. Not really. No, but I feel like when I cry and I move forward, I'm in that zone of like, all right, we're going to move on. It is what it is. And that's the part my friends and family see. And they're like,
Yeah.
so this must be her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I actually did the vulnerable part before I had this conversation with you.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I
What
feel
don't
like
I know about you?
like close friends or like,
Just in general, what don't people know?
this is gonna sound morbid and dark. Like I don't know if I should
Go for it.
Okay.
Love a good dark.
I feel like when people meet me, like I'm very bubbly and I'm very outgoing and I like to be like, I love making stupid jokes. Like I feel like people can easily be like, oh, she's dumb, like, you know, whatever. But like, I feel like I do that in the sense of like, I've dealt with a lot of tough shit in my life. Like more than I've ever talked to anybody about. Like I have not been dealt the nicest of cards in my life. And not that I'm doing the woe is me card, but like, I've been through some shit. And I feel like the reason I act that way is because I just want to add light to people's lives. Like, I guess I assume that like everybody's having a tough time. So I'm just trying to add light. And I feel like people are always like, oh, she's so stupid. Like, blah, blah.
I can
and I'm
see
like,
that.
I'm
Not
just,
like
no, but I know what you mean. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like people think that of me a lot. And I'm actually the complete opposite. Like, I've actually been through such tough shit that I have nothing else to do but smile right now. Like, that's it.
What do you consider your best physical feature?
Probably my legs. I like my legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
You do have really nice legs.
Thank you. What about you?
I would normally say my hair, but since I dyed it blonde, it's kind of like dry.
But it takes color nice.
I guess. I would say my nose.
Yeah, you do have a cute
I feel
nose.
like my plastic surgeon said I have a really good nose.
You do have a really good nose.
I didn't get it done. He just said it's really nice.
Which celeb would you want as your other BFF and why?
I've been staring at this because I have been thinking about it. I want to say Amy Schumer.
I know. I was just thinking that.
Love her. I think she's hilarious. I don't know what it is. I just love her. I feel like we'd be friends. Also Jennifer Lawrence because they're friends. And I always thought like, 'cause she's so awkward and like funny and real. She just doesn't seem like she would be famous. Like she doesn't act like a famous person. I feel like we would be really good friends, the three of us.
I see that. If I had to pick two, I'd probably pick Sebastian Maniscalco because I feel like
comedian.
Yeah, but I feel like we're both very klepto. Like his whole gas station scene of that is literally all my mind does. I like set up the worst possible scenario, and then probably J-Lo because I'm just like I feel like you could learn so much for her. She like does movies, she does music, she's a producer, she's a mom. She looks incredible, and she's 50. I just feel like
everyone would pick J-Lo.
I know, but I really mean that to like a core of like, I think she seems like a really good person who would probably be very informative. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes. I mean, when I was younger, I'm sure people say bad things about me all the time, especially after we release this podcast. But like more in elementary schools, like what I directly remember because those are like traumatizing years. You look your worst. So I would be called like chubby. I was chubby. Like I went through an awkward phase like most people do. And I remember all of my friends were like they never really went through that chubby stage, or if they did, they got boobs. Like they got something out of it. And I just looked like a little chubby boy. And I grew up thinking I was the hottest shit on the planet as a child. Like I was it. like my whole family jokes, like I would literally be 5, 6, walking around like I own the place, and then like this stage hit, and I obviously still had those childlike feelings about myself, which are why everyone loves children. They're so confident, and then little by little being knocked down, and it like really took a toll on me. Not in the sense of you know, I don't think I carry it now, but you know, I guess subconsciously.
Well, everyone used to call me Jack-o'-lantern in like elementary school. So rude. And then
cute.
It is cute, but back then I was like, oh my god. I used to get bullied. I have a beauty mark on my face. I feel like it's noticeable. Like, you probably don't notice it now because, like, you've known me for so long. But when I was younger, people used to make fake, like, AOL accounts and would message me and be like, remove the mole, remove the mole.
That's so
and
mean.
I used to cry to my mom, and, like, I almost set up a surgery to get it removed. And my mom used to always show me pictures of Cindy Crawford. And she was like, this woman's on a magazine and she has a beauty mark. She's beautiful. And my mom's like, it's going to grow in. Like, you're going to grow into it. Like, not that it was bigger than my face. It always grew with my face. But, like, I don't know. It was just obviously it was something for kids to. Yeah, it was something for kids to point out.
That's so mean.
I know, it was really fucked up, but I love it now. I'm so thankful I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And I would have had a scar on my face.
Right.
So she's doing well. Thank you very much.
Should we name her?
No, but should we?
No. Okay.
Here's a question for you. What is your favorite memory we've made together?
There's so many. I'm just gonna pick the first one because I just feel like it was like iconic.
Like when we first met?
Yeah, like our reveal.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we went out to dinner, like as a fam. So it was probably really overwhelming for you. But I had known that you were my little for so long that I was like anticipating that moment.
Yeah.
And then it was just super exciting when it happened. And I feel like yes, 100% you were like, okay, hi, nice to meet you. But I was like, oh my God, I love her. And then like my fam felt the same way, and it was like a nice feeling, and I felt like I won.
That's the most you comment I've ever heard. Okay. I know you did feel that way.
I did.
That's so funny. I just, like, I don't know why, but I have so many videos come to mind of, like, your college dorm room of us just, like, dying, laughing. Those are my favorite.
That was it? The ones of us laughing?
Yeah, those are my best moments. Okay. You literally are my college
What about
memories,
when I threw you a birthday?
What?
Remember your 20th birthday? Me and your roommate.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
my God. I was just looking at that photo actually. She literally, I walk into my dorm room and there's like white balloons all over the place and like a pliable and like gifts and like, I don't even remember what else. That was really cute.
It's good stuff.
That was really cute. What's your earliest childhood memory like?
I don't know. Who the fuck knows that?
I do.
All right.
My father loved watching mob movies. Like always in the house, we had Goodfellas, Casino, The Godfather. So Casino was playing one day, and we had a big TV in our kitchen. That was like our hangout spot. We literally had like couches in our kitchen. Like my dad wanted that to be the center of, I don't know, food makes everyone happy, who knows. But he was watching it, and I walked downstairs, and I guess he didn't notice me. I must have been 5 years old. And it was one of the last scenes of Casino where Joe Pesci is like beaten to death with a baseball bat.
Right.
Just horrifying. Like I remember I felt sick in my stomach. Like I was
That's
like,
your earliest memory?
I mean, I'm sure there's something else that's beautiful, but like that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
All right.
Anyway, what's yours?
So I was 4. My brother was born. My mom had either a shower or actually it was after he was born. So it must have been like the first holiday, which was Hanukkah. And we were celebrating Hanukkah, and we had people over our like small town house at the time. He was obviously a newborn, so everyone was obsessed with him, and I was livid. And to appease me, my 4-year-old bratty self, they gave me a big sister like pin ribbon to like make me feel special. And I was like, this shit's bullshit. I'm like, this is, and I remember being like, well, look at me, I'm the big sister. And then like the second I realized everyone was paying attention to Tommy, I was like, this is my life now.
That's really
and
funny.
I threw like a temper tantrum, and like my mom was like, get it together. And I was 4.
This is it.
I did go back into the better of graces. But what do you think is the best way to resolve conflict? I
I say the second something bothers you, just say it. because we've talked about this too. Like sometimes like something will bother you and you'll just like kind of bicker about it to somebody else and you kind of like build up animosity a little bit. Yeah. And then this happens and then that happens and they're all like really little things and they all start to build up and then like the person like will sneeze the wrong way and you like flip the fuck out like and you're just like, oh my God, I hate you. But I feel like the thing I've noticed is if something bothers me, I just have to say it. And it doesn't have to be in an aggressive way. It doesn't have to be it just be like, hey, like that kind of felt weird to me. And I think also just like having conversation because that person might not have known that they upset you. Like, you know, I think it's always easy to think something's like done in a malicious way. But if you're like, hey, like, you know, when you said that it kind of upset me and I'm just feeling this kind of way, I would love to just chat about it. Like, it doesn't have to be anything. Like, I know it sounds so dumb, but I
just feel like that was so polite. Like when you're upset, no one approaches it like that. Hey,
I know.
Just chat?
I know. I think
like, sit the fuck down. We got shit to talk about.
I feel like in the past couple of years of my life, I've been so not like aggressive in those ways. Like if I do get upset, I'll like take a step back and like calm myself down. And then if it's still bothering me 2 days later, I'll mention something. I like really try to like, I try to cool it off. But I don't know. I think the best way to resolve conflict is like just communicate because I feel like without communication, it just like things just fucking blow up.
Did your therapist tell you that?
Duh. 8 years going strong.
I would say I'm also a very straightforward person, almost too straightforward.
You are very straightforward.
I need to learn to figure out what's actually bothering me before I bring it up. Because I've had conflict where I'm like, you know, this is upsetting me. And then the other person will be like, so what do we do about this? Like, what do you want to fix here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is bothering you. And most times it's characteristics of people.
Yeah.
And like, obviously it's showcased in things that have happened.
Yeah.
Situations. But it's like, I'm looking at as like, is that your character? Like,
yeah.
And they're like, whoa. How do we fix this? Because whatever. And I've had a really hard time trying to be like, yeah, I don't know how we fix this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so almost like handling conflict, have some sort of idea of like resolve.
Yes. Helps. Like what do you actually want resolved?
That's annoying. Leo, what are you doing? What's your favorite podcast?
They could be listening. Honestly, I really do like, what's it called? Eric D'Alessandro's podcast.
Do you? Dress Down Day?
Yeah. I feel like I don't listen as much as you do, but I really do like that one. I like the Pete and Sebastian one, depending on like what the topic is, because sometimes it can be like dad stuff and I'm like, I don't relate, but like I just love hearing about their lives. And also Eric is just so funny.
Yeah. I am obsessed with Dress Down Day.
Yeah.
I would say it's my top 3, but I like, obviously, Crime Junkies is like it's a little dark for you, I feel, but it's really good. I listen to that every time I get my nails done. I'm like, who are we listening to that got murdered today?
Oh my God.
It's crazy, and it's all relevant stuff, so it is kind of like creepy. And I also feel like it helps me learn how to avoid these situations.
Yeah.
To some extent. And then I also, there's this podcast called The Just Enough Family, and it's basically like a documentary via podcast. And it's only like 8 episodes, but this woman who actually did, you know, was the podcaster of some sort. She interviewed this family. I just think the way she did it was so great, and it's actually about like the Steinberg family from New York. They were like this big up and coming family, like, and they ended up falling off like right around 9/11. But they're like this big Jewish, like, and I like resonated with it. And then I got my mom into it, who was like the least technological advanced person. And she listens to this podcast now. And it's really interesting. The story's told really well.
How do you think I've changed since we initially became friends?
I think you've gotten so much more confident.
Yeah.
Like you were always confident, especially in your craft.
Yeah.
But I also feel like you're, and you're so, not like you're bitchy or just like, you were always just like, sure, of course.
Yeah,
I could figure that out. Yeah, I'll handle it. And I could like see you like deteriorating. Like seriously, you were physically deteriorating when we met.
Yeah.
And like little things would bother you. And I'd be like, why do you care? Like you have so much more like drama that you had.
Yeah.
Whether it was like home or your friends from home or school or the sorority, whatever. Or even just like your program, which was like another like huge issue sometimes. It's a really competitive field, and like you would get so worked up over the smallest things, and I'm like, who cares? And then when you would, you know, try out for parts and stuff, like, I feel like you were really hard on yourself. And then, like, you know, as the plays came and went, you were like, you know what? I did the best I could.
I think I like maxed myself out in anxiety. Does that make sense? Like, I saw it. I just hit a point where I was like, I just don't care. Like, I almost became like numb. Like, it just, well, I mean, my dad died. Yeah. And after that, I just.
Dead inside.
Literally. Well, there's so much that just doesn't affect me the way it used to. Like, I just don't care. And not in a mean way. I just literally just don't care. Like.
And you shouldn't.
And I hear like other people talk and worry the way I used to. And I'm like, wow, like, it's so minor. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's such a waste of time.
And I felt like I was always trying to get that point across. But I understood in the moment, that's your bubble. Because it's like, it can be intense sometimes. And I would be like, you need, like, take a step back. Like, where are we right now? Yeah. Is this life or death? Like, is this going to matter in 5 years?
Exactly. I always say that. I'm like, is this going to matter in 5 years?
And my mom was always the person to be like, cry about it. You have 3 minutes. Go.
Me and my mom did the same thing. I'd go on auditions, like, didn't get it or something. She's like, okay, great. Let's go get ice cream. Let's talk about how much that sucked. And then the next day we get up and we do it again. Yeah. And that's.
I do think that's like a huge thing. Most people don't even. Coping mechanisms are gone nowadays. Oh my God. There's no coping mechanism. Something goes wrong and people just lose their shit.
I think we also, our society, maybe it's because of social media, like, I feel like it's like, oh, failing is like the end, and it's actually just part of the journey. Like, you literally have to fail to figure shit out.
Nobody's like yes, I failed.
Yeah,
nobody.
Right, and it is a sucky feeling, but it literally has to happen. Then be like, okay, what went wrong? Right. What can I do better? And what am I gonna do tomorrow to fix it? And that's
I'm not as good at that.
It's just gotten to the point where I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna continue to work on this. I'm gonna continue to go after this dream. Honestly, even just hearing you today, not that you're more aware of your emotions, but you're more vocal about it.
I don't know. Who talks about their emotions when you first meet people?
Nobody. It's not actually. It's not I've known you for 5 years. What are you talking about? I'm just
saying, like.
No, but you're very like. I could tell her something, and she'd be like, "So," and then one time when I was moving into my apartment in October, I was like, "What do you think about this chair? Like, I kind of want it to be brown, but I also." And she looks at me with a smile, and she goes, I literally don't care. She was like, nobody cares what color your couch is or whatever. And I was like, that was rude. Like, I'm asking your opinion.
You asked me 9 times.
You were like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, and I said, I was like, I like this. But if you do this, this is the scheme that I'm looking at. Like, I gave you my full opinion, but then you're like, so which one? And I'm like, I literally don't care. No one comes in your room except a select few of people. Yeah. Who gives a fuck? Why? And it was like a 20-minute conversation, and I was hungry.
I literally don't care.
And we were trying to figure out where we were gonna eat.
I know. Oh my God, that was funny.
And then your phone was dying. We were looking for a charger so you could keep showing me the stupid couch. Like, it was just, oh God.
It was just so funny. But I feel like you've become more aware, or at least vocal of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes I think it's time and a place.
Yes, agreed.
Like, I almost try and, like, you know.
Agreed.
Center the conversation. Like, this doesn't matter. Pick whatever goddamn chair you want. Nothing's
It was just funny the way you said it with a smile. I was like, oh my God.
That's me trying to, like, sugarcoat it, where I'm like, I don't care. I love you, but let's move the fuck on.
That's sugarcoating? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because I could have been like, you know, I don't mind. Like, no, I'm just, because then you're going to keep pushing me because I was being nice. Okay.
Oh my God.
What's a tough experience that you learned and grew from?
Well, as I mentioned, I lost my dad to COVID, December 2020. Mm-hmm. My dad is my literal everything, my best friend. And
I am second.
Sure. And I think one thing I had, like, my dad had a near death experience when I was 8 years old, which we could probably talk about on another podcast because that's a fucking wild story.
For sure. It's literally the craziest story.
He's down in like record books. Like, it's insane. So I feel like at a young age, like, I almost had him taken away and I was given him back basically. Like, he was not supposed to survive at all, and it happened 3 times. It's wild. We'll talk about it. But I feel like because of that, I just appreciated him so much because I had, you know what I mean? Like, like a lot of people would not have, or like people have lost their parents and things like that. And I was just so appreciative of my family and my parents and
You were close.
my relationships. I literally, I couldn't even argue with my dad. Like it was like his way and I was like, great, that's it. And I just, losing him, literally worst year of my life. No even way to sugarcoat that. But I feel like one thing I took moving away was I have no regrets. Like, that man knew how loved he was. Like,
oh, for sure.
I told him every day. And like, that's something that I grew from and learned, is that like, I always want to appreciate the people around me. Like, I don't care if I'm mad at them. I don't care if there's whatever. I just so badly want to tell everyone around me how much I love them and how I appreciate them. And like, one thing losing my father is I know that I put everything into our relationship.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, probably too much. Like I like considered my dad part of my identity.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you want to meet my dad?
Well, it was
like,
Jack. So.
Yeah, I'm literally named after him. Like, I just, like, I think moving with that, like my mom, we're on the phone, we could literally be in a fight and I'll be like, love you, bye. Like, I just always make sure that I'm letting the people around me know how important they are and valuable, and it just doesn't hurt to give someone an extra hug kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. That's really... I 100% knew you were going to say that. Okay, I'm not as... you know what? Like I said, I wasn't dealt as terrible of cards, and I completely acknowledge that. I'm going to just be a little more superficial about this. So I was with a guy in high school, and we started dating like right around my 16th birthday. And I was like not really into him. I had just gotten out of a relationship who I was like really taken back by our breakup. So I was like kind of like shook. So he becomes my friend, and then I start liking him. I knew he liked me all along, which obviously helps. It went on for 4 years on and off. Like we were only really dating for like 4 months officially, and then it was just like he was just someone to have.
Yeah.
And I was 100% like, it's not like I was taken advantage of, but I think mentally I was, because I was being told nice things and promises, and you know, and just like actions speak louder than words. So sometimes it would flip-flop. His actions would be nicer than his words, and then his words would be nicer. So I was like, what the frick is going on?
Yeah.
I was 17, so I was young. Like, I lost my virginity to him. You get connected to that person. He also had terrible cards dealt as well, so I felt for him. Like, I felt like I should give him more chances because his life wasn't easy, and I could see the pain. Yeah.
But that's also,
I made a lot of excuses.
Yeah, that's also like a really dangerous thing to be on, because personally, I would never want someone to date me because they felt bad, or in the way of like, oh, let me help you kind of thing. Like, but it is a very easy thing for someone to do, to be manipulative.
I loved him so much that I was
that
like, how can I abandon him? If
I totally get that.
It wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
And then when I finally like left, he like made a remark about my weight, and I just like lost it. And I went in my car and cried for like an hour, and then I met Joe the next week. Obviously, the experience made me who I am, but I regret staying as long as I did.
Well, I think that's something like a lot of people say is like, you can't even beat yourself up for how long you stayed, as long as you walked away. Yes. It's just like for any sort of line of situation.
Because I could have stayed. Like, I really could have. I don't know what triggered that final, like, I have to leave this. Yeah. I wish him all the best. I hope he finds the love of his life. Yeah. And I sincerely wish him nothing but the best. I just, like, we were not good.
No, yeah.
For each other, and I wasted a lot of my time. You just need to know, like, this isn't gonna be good for me. Right. This isn't, even if he turns around and is the best guy, can you trust it? Right. Are you gonna feel confident that he's not gonna switch back? Like, yeah. I just, long term, it's not healthy. So
I agree.
I do regret I stayed for 4 years.
Okay. Well, that concludes our little questionnaire.
Hope that wasn't super boring and irrelevant.
Or way too personal.
Yeah. Essentially, so the majority of this podcast is going to be very conversational, very chill, hopefully lots of foods and, drinks coming. I love hanging out. It's something that we can do together. It's cathartic for me. I think it's fun. Obviously, getting our friends and family involved will make it even more fun. Yeah. I just hope that we can connect with people that don't necessarily feel like they're, I want to say podcasts out there for them, but I'm just saying, like, where people feel like they can listen to us and, like, be on their drive home, or be doing something at work and just kind of like letting time pass by and,
Yeah.
you know, maybe resonating with what we have to say. We're just here to like entertain people.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe she's from Jersey. It's just something like hopefully someone can relate to if you are going to school and you're looking at things in New Jersey or you're looking for certain life decisions or whatever it is. I feel like
learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, learn from our fucking mistakes.
We have a lot to share.
We also are open to suggestions, comments, and really just looking for a place for people to feel a little bit of a community, whether it's mental health, cosmetics, being a woman, women in business. Like, we're gonna cover a bunch of different topics.
We're gonna play some games. If
Yeah.
anyone knows me, I love games.
I fucking hate games.
I love games. So yeah, we just want this to be a safe and enjoyable space, and I hope
Super fun and cozy.
you walk away from this walk away. I hope you take your headphones off and you're like, this was nice. All right.
Anyway,
maybe she's from Jersey or Florida.
thanks so much for tuning into this first one. Hopefully you'll stick around for the second. Leave us some reviews, comments, what you love, hate.
Only leave us 5-star reviews. If not, don't say it.
Yeah.
Okay?
With that, we're out. Bye.